Indianapolis Colts at the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings favored by 8.5 here. This is Sunday Night Football. This got flexed into Sunday Night Football.
When?
Recent, like 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
It got flexed about 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks, whatever it was, from the Eagles-Jags. Eagles-Jags was the original game. I'm not saying it's the wrong move, but
I think it's a much better move now without Anthony Richardson. I actually think this becomes a much more interesting game with Joe Flacco at quarterback.
I still would love to watch Anthony Richardson play football. You know,
against Brian Flores' defense, I feel like Anthony Richardson would have a 45-yard passing game.
I think it would be fun to watch. I still think he's a fascinating watch. We broke down Anthony Richardson quite a bit yesterday, and his opting out. You know, he's getting benched, opting out of the game, the whole thing.
Wait, are we being told that the line for the last game is only 5.5, not 8.5?
Who said that?
Is that what that message means?
5.5. What did I say? I thought I said 5.5. I was reading 5.5. It's the Vikings by 5.5 in this game.
It's 8.5 in the spreadsheet, I think.
No, 8.5 is the Chiefs game.
Yeah.
I see it saying 5.5, and I thought I said 5.5. Did I not?
I don't know. I'm confused by what the message means. Anyway, it is 5.5 now.
I'm good. Keep going.
Yeah, carry on.
I was thinking yesterday, I missed this in yesterday's discussion, I may have had a manager who thought that I also opted out of a game as a pitcher.
Wow.
That I opted out.
Did you?
No, I don't think so. But I'm, you know me, I'm analytical.
What do you mean you don't think so?
So here's what happened. When I was 24, I was pitching in a game. I was a one-inning guy that particular year. And we go to extra innings, and I'm all fired up. I started to go like 3 innings. And my manager's like, called me Zoe. Zoe, you ready to go? You got another one? I'm like, yeah, let's go. I was all excited. I'm fired up, feeling good. I give up a walk-off homer, which is on the internet. The video I always post of like the worst slider I've ever thrown gets whacked for a walk-off, right? So years later, similar situation. Big game. I'm a one-inning guy. I had to go 3 innings this particular night. And my manager's like, you ready to go? You got another inning in you? And I was like, have somebody ready. Have someone else ready just in case. I got a little analytical. Like in the back of my mind, I was like, I haven't gone more than 1 inning in a long time. I'm heading into like inning 4 or something like that. Just have somebody ready. And then I think he held it against me.
Yeah.
After that.
It sounds.
Is that opting out? I'm like, hey, be realistic here. You know, you're stretching me a little bit. You're stretching me. I got it, but you're stretching me a little.
Yeah.
Did I go? Is that full AR? Is that full AR?
Not full. It's close. It's in the same family.
So I have no idea who actually listens to this. He might.
Usually those are sort of rhetorical questions, right? So you ready to go? Because the answer is always yeah. You were like, yeah.
I was like, yes. However, I would get another arm going, get somebody warmed up just in case.
That's not the answer you're looking for when you ask that question.
Now, between that, this is my last season playing. Between that and then if we played a game on Monday night in September, I may have been in the locker room trying to watch some football. A lot. I was sneaking Sunday afternoons. I was watching football during the game. And I think between those two things, he was like, I don't think I want you back on the team next year.
Neither one of those things helped.
So, but it smoothly led into the new career.
Right.
But that came to mind, so I didn't want to be a hypocrite, and trash Anthony Richardson for opting out when maybe I did something similar.
Yeah.
But just realistically, I just said, hey, keep Flacco ready just in case. You know what I mean?
You were like,
in case I get tired.
In your case, if Anthony Richardson, like if he'd gotten up, right, and Steichen from the sideline was like, you good? Expecting him to go, yeah, don't worry, I got it, right? You'd have been like, yeah, maybe Joe can come out for a snap.
Just he could give him a handoff. I'll be back next drive.
Maybe send Joe out for a play. I'll be back. That's what happened there.
Again, I just didn't want to be hypocrite. I don't want to sit on my high horse and be, I can't believe he opted out of a play.
No, it's good.
I would never do that.
That's good self-awareness.
Yeah, thank you. I forgot to add that yesterday.
Right.
So all that said, talk about the game, Sam.
Well, like I said, I think it becomes more interesting with Joe Flacco in there.
Yeah.
Now we get to see this Flores defense. Number one, we get to see can it bounce back after being kind of undressed by the Rams. And what was concerning about that is, as I said at the time, I do think that was a repeatable game plan. Like, they had a lot of quick game. They had a lot of screens. They had a lot of horizontal stuff. They moved this defense away from where it wants to be. And suddenly they kind of took away all of the confusion that defense is able to show pre-snap and forced them to be a lot more identifiable, I think. and we're a lot less sort of madness in terms of what you're looking at. It's like, actually, this is a lot easier to diagnose. We just have to figure out, is this guy blitzing or not, right? Are they having one add-on blitzer in this look or not? Okay, the Colts don't do a ton of that, but they could. I mean, and particularly with Joe Flacco. I mean, look at what happens when Josh Downs when Joe Flacco is in the game, right?
Yeah.
This is an offense that's a lot more tailored to that game plan than it is with Anthony Richardson there. So I want to see that. Can this offense replicate what the Rams did? Can Flores find an answer to that if that's what happens? Or can he just bounce back and say, no, this is still legit. The Rams and Stafford and, Sean McVay just found something that game. So that, I think, is the first thing. And then every week it's, Darnold watch.
So Josh Downs was the guy I was going to highlight. I didn't think of this. Did we get a Prize Picks projection for Josh Downs? Because in the 3 games where Flacco's played significantly, he's gone 8 for 82, 9 for 69, 7 for 66. Now, last week, Downs had the 109 against Houston with Richardson. But again, it was like a 61-yard busted coverage and then a great corner route. I mean, again, one of Richardson's best throws was down the field to Downs. But I think you highlighted it well. Flacco, certainly right now, more equipped to diagnose, get rid of the ball quickly. Downs has been one of his favorite targets, targeted him about 10 times per game in those 3 games where Flacco played. And so I think they've got some potential answers to Flores in the blitz. I think the run game will be interesting. Again, people are trying to do a lot of without Flacco, Flacco versus Richardson. How good is the offense? I mean, I think the offense has been better with Joe Flacco in there, because the other confounding variable is Flacco had, I don't think he had any Jonathan Taylor, right, when he was out there. The run game was far less consistent with Flacco than with Richardson. Richardson has an effect on that. But again, I think the offense has just been more crisp with Joe Flacco. And you can argue the organizational philosophy of a 4-4 team, the Colts here, saying, hey, we want to go make a playoff run with Flacco versus the development of Anthony Richardson. But it's a better team right now.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I might be past the Darnold watch. Not that he's good in perpetuity, but he'll be fine. He'll have some good games. He'll have some bad games. I mean, I think that's the reality of Darnold right now. Now, it'll be interesting if he ends up landing, like I talked about with Baker Mayfield and Geno Smith, if he ends up landing as like a 500 quarterback at the end of the day. The other human element to this is the Vikings are coming off they had 2 losses. They were undefeated. They lost 2 games in 4 days. So sitting here at 5-2, do they get back? It's like a mini bye for them coming off the Thursday. Are they able to get back on track here?
It's a big game for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, they went from, the one of 2 undefeated teams with Kansas City to their first loss is a real nail biter against Detroit, who might be the other, best team in the NFC. It's like, all right, that's fair enough. I think they had a good account of themselves in that game. They made it really close. But then they lose to the Rams by 10 points in a game they should have won, And that is the one. Not only was that a bad loss just generally, unexpected, but it was also a game that I think far more than the Detroit game exposed that defense and showed teams how to attack it. That, I think, is a much bigger concern for them. It was a bad loss, but also really put some tape out there that I think every other team in the NFL that's facing the Vikings is going to want to use to attack them. So I think that it's a big game for them to not just bounce back and get a win and stop the mini slide, but also to show we have answers to what that tape showed.
Cam Robinson, the Vikings just traded for him to play left tackle. He got to, he plays the Colts often. So it'll feel like an AFC South game for him. I assume he's going to be in and playing. Is he ready to go? If he is, going up against the Colts, Latu, and those other pass rushers, just saw them a few weeks ago. All right, man, 5.5 for the Vikings in this one.
Colts.
I'm also taking the Colts. Locker room going to rally around Joe Flacco.
Always. Old man Flacco.
Harry's taking the Vikings in this one. 5.5 Sunday Night Football. Looking forward to that one.
Thanks for watching all the way to the end of our video.
For more great content, click here to subscribe and here to watch another video. We'll see you again soon.